This is WPVI TV Channel 6, Philadelphia. It's 6 o'clock. Action News.
Delaware Valley's leading news program with Don Tollefson, Dave Roberts, and Jim Gardner.
Good evening, Wednesday evening. Big story in Action News tonight is in Philadelphia, where after a 3-month absence from the airwaves, nervous Steve Fredericks returned to hosting his sports talk show Monday night before a packed supportive audience at Rivet at 1709 Walnut Street. Fredericks, age 50, has been off the air since his mid-October arrest on drug possession charges. The audience cheered the WCAU 1210 radio personality's arrival at the Center City restaurant. Gary Papa has a report. I'm nervous and I expected to be. Fredericks said he was in the midst of a media mob. Television lights admired the return to the press conference at an on-away table at Rivet. I have some butterflies and I have some cereal stumps. The reason I got in trouble was because I was powerless over substance abuse. Now I have to work at it one a day at a time. I got addicted the same way anybody does. It's when you are very young and you have a beer in the playground, and I was a rebel in the 60s, and the thing to do was to experiment with substance. There are some you like and some you do like. It just continues to get until it gets to this point. Fredericks declined to advise other substance abusers. I'm not giving it good advice. I advise that something I need. You have a problem when you can't control the amount of a substance you use. When you can't control your time, when you use it, when you don't, well, you say you're not going to do it. These are people who do some things socially, but they don't allow the substance they use to create more than one problem in their life. If the substance begins into the problem, they can leave it alone. I didn't say there was warning signs of things to come. I looked at alcohol and I saw a problem. There was, and I have not had a drink in 2 years, but with the drugs, that's the old, I can handle that trap. Fredericks said being a celebrity was no help when he was arrested. When you are placed in a system in Philadelphia, it does it. At weight you do live in, you are all in the same boat. The only difference is I have given the opportunity to seek the help I needed. Fredericks realizes his battle is not over. Rehabilitation is for discovery. You have the rest of your life to recover. He said he will continue to be a staunch opponent of the use of drugs in sports. He said he never called for athletes to be punished, but still feels that they should not be allowed to play until after they have undergone treatment. Fredericks said that the pain of his own addiction made him even more passionate in his own tirades against drug use. I could see the devastation of my own life, and I tried to warn others about what substance abuse is. But I was too arrogant to ask for help myself. I thought I was better than the other addicts because I could go to work without taking anything. Now I have to stay away from all people, places, and things that might lead me back to my situation. Fredericks only had a short on-air time. By the night, and Don Henderson handled his Buddy Ryan show duties, but the end of the show was preempted by a basketball game. He opened the show by telling the audience he was glad to be back. I'm nervous and I'm scared, he said. The nervous was noticeable when he started. He seemed more than he needs to do the show progress. Calls welcome back, and on one call questioned about him his past problems in the head, and they're definitely saying him well, he was dealing with it today. Okay, Papa, Channel 6 Action News. In Philadelphia, developer Willard Ross III. I made a deep regret and certainly embarrassment said Tuesday that his firm was managing a $120 million Penn London project on the Delaware River waterfront about 3 months from his scheduled groundbreaking. He said it was economically viable to turn an empty piece of ground into a megastructure of stores, office buildings, a parking garage, and hotel. More buildings were contemplated in the next decade for an additional $400 million investment. After consulting with his prime lender, West Street,
and that has calmed things down a bit out here.
Ross said he decided it was more prudent to quit now, even though he was already spent $5 million on the project. It was expensive mistake. Ross told reporters called to the 21st floor headquarters city. Ross and Association One Liberty Place, the city's tallest building, which he completed last year. It was a terribly challenging project I wanted to do, and it would take a while to get over it, Ross said. Calling to the project's demise our biggest setback, Ross tried to explain how his enthusiasm going into the project turned to the realization that the project was unworkable. We saw the market change and we didn't want to go to get it on with it unless we thought and was this year's realities, he said. Groundbreak was due to begin before May 1st as part of an agreement which has obtained a $10 million federal project development grant for the project. Asked where the withdrawal leaves Philadelphia, which by ordinance has given a Ross to go ahead, he replied. He leaves the city with a great piece of dirt. Woodbridge, New Jersey. A passenger of a car pulled over for speeding on the New Jersey Turnpike was shot and killed Tuesday in a scuffle with a state trooper, authorities said. The driver of the car was arrested, and a second passenger was being sought by the state and local police on foot and a helicopter, said state police spokesman Captain Thomas Gallagher. Rob Jennings is live on Newsroom. Rob? Traffic Robert K. Henning, 26, pulled over a luxury car with North Carolina license plates about 12:30 p.m. because it was speeding. Gallagher said Herndon told one of the passengers leave the car and ask for his identification when they Man searched his pockets and spotted what he believes to be a small bag of marijuana inside. The spokesman said the men then pushed Hennon down and went toward a marshy highway median. Gallagher said Hennon caught the man, subdued him, and was putting his gun in his holster when the men kicked him in. He said there were a number of shots fired. Gallagher said when the weapon was turned toward the trooper, a shot was fired. He then turned the gun on the suspect and fired. Police tentatively identified the dead man as a 46-year-old North Carolina resident who was on parole for 2 bank robbery convictions that had stayed in 1976 and moved to Hackensack in October. Gallagher said the driver was only as a 37-year-old man from Greensboro, North Carolina. Harrisburg, the state's new Attorney General and Treasurer took office Tuesday, pledging ambitious programs of action and pre-reform. Republican Ernie Preet and Barbara Haver was sworn in as Attorney General and Auditor General, respectively, and Democratic friend Baker Dahl became treasurer on a day reserved for reception, speeches, and rare bipartisan cooperation. Keeping with the spirit, Governor Robert P. Casey attended both Republican ceremonies. He was the keynote speaker at the Miss Hafner and Pleasure Prietti's inauguration to help step out of war against illegal drugs. Prietti said battling drugs would be the top priority. He called on Casey and the legislature to provide $10.8 million in additional state funding to implement its agenda on anti-drugs. Ominous is that the drug crisis has now replaced the threat of nuclear war as the number one fear of our children today. From boardroom to schoolroom, rich to poor, at every level of society, and at every corner of this Commonwealth, in every state in this nation, we're being overwhelmed by it. Prietti chose several hundred supporters. In his inaugural address, he said his drug program would concentrate on having local, state, and federal authorities and the turf wars and unite against drug dealers. Prietti, who won a nasty race against Democrat Edward Mazvinsky to become Pennsylvania's second attorney general, who was second elected, and also said he would create a civil rights enforcement section to battle bigotry and prejudices. In addition, in Casey, 2 former Pennsylvania governors helped the 3-term Lackawanna district attorney from Lackawanna County celebrated his inauguration. Former Governor William W. Scranton was master of ceremonies, and Dick Thurman, now the U.S. Attorney General, offered his support in a speech. He said the Auditor General, who stands to serve as a stand-in for the public, must ask the right questions and hold accountable for the officials. He praised Mr. and Mrs. Hafer and said he looked forward to working with her. I can't think of another person in office should be modeled after. Mrs. Hafer said of Casey, after being sworn in, she said Pennsylvania deserves a government worthy of its hard-working people. And I say at the new beginnings, I pledge to devote all of my strength and intellect and ability to bring Pennsylvania this government it deserves, she said. Joining Ms. Hafer on a stage at the Capitol Auditorium where her husband Jack Pigeon and daughters Kelly and Beth, Kelly's husband Charles Hauser, and daughter-in-law Susan Pigeon, Miss Hafer's mother, and Lee Harshbarger also attended. During the inaugural ceremonies, Mrs. Knoll was surrounded herself with family and state dignitaries on the forum stage, including Casey, Lieutenant Governor Mark Siegel, House Speaker James Menduino, Democrat of Westmoreland, Senate President Pro Tem Robert Jubner, Republican of Air, and Aquana Treasurer G. Davis Jr. Mrs. Knoll pledged to use her office to help stimulate economic development as well as prudently invest state money every time we save a dollar, and the government finances that is $1 less than taxes for Pennsylvanians, she said. Tragedy in Stockton, California. A young drifter wearing combat fatigues opened fire with an assault rifle and screaming at children in an elementary school yard in Scotland Tuesday. 5 children are refugees from Southeast Asia were killed and 30 people wounded because of the gunman and before the gunman shot himself to death. The red generally identified as Patrick Purdy, 24. The gunman, originally from Stockton, and had extensive criminal history, but police told that no idea of a motive, said Lucian Neely, deputy police chief of this agricultural city about 60 miles east of San Francisco. He was just standing there with a gun, making white sweep, said Lori Mackey, who teaches deaf children at Cleveland Elementary School, and went to a window when he shared what she had fought with firecrackers. She said she saw a man standing in the schoolyard spraying gunfire back and forth from a Russian AK-47 assault rifle at 4 and 5 people from grades 1 to 3 played at recess. She said we realized what was happening. She took her 10 students to a room where they could not be seen. He was not talking, he was not yelling, he was very straight-faced. It did not look like he was really angry. Just matter of factly, she said that the gunman who she was describing about 5'10" with short, dirty blonde hair. There were mass chaos. There were kids running in every direction, she said. Brady, also known as Patrick West, had lived most recently in Lodi, about 50 miles northeast of here. Prior to that, he lived in Sunday, Oregon, where he'd been purchased an AK-47 from the Sunday Trading Post on August 3rd, said Sunday Police Chief Fred Funzel. Brady's criminal record was mostly in Los Angeles area and included narcotics and weapons violations, soliciting for sex, Neely said. Funzel had said Brady lived with his aunt and Aunt Clint Sandy for several months until October, and the aunt, Julie Michael, told me he was alone and as a child he was an alcoholic. He said Purdy also been living in Texas, Memphis, Tennessee, and Connecticut since leaving Oregon. The gunman described in battle gear and wearing a flak jacket parked in his car near his stool and then set it on Fires the diversion before entering the campus by the government defense around 11:48 Pacific Standard Time with 2 handguns and an AK-47 with full. Banana Clip Police said he opened fire on the west side of the group of portable customs, then moved to the east side and continued fire across the blocked up yard towards the main building about 250 yards away. Neely said it was no closer than when he shot himself in the head. About 6 rounds were fired. In some cases, the bullets were completely fired. The main school building when came out to the opposite side of the fall, spent on Hill-shaped school's front lawn. Neely said as police cleaned up the carnage, a large handgun and AK-47 were seen lying on the pool of blood. Written on the pistol then were the initials. Washington, the Justice Department concluded Tuesday that former Attorney General Edwin Meese III violated federal ethics standards 5 times in 60 years and that his relationship with Robert Walsh to take government actions in major cases. Meese's assistance in a scandal-plagued West Tech Corporation and his efforts on behalf of the proposed Mideast oil pipeline involved 3 instances in which friendship between men and Walsh caused federal actions and said that it reported the Department Office of Professional Responsibility. Walsh collected $1.3 million from West Tech in 1982 and 1986 is weighing trial on New York on record and other charges he is accused of as misconduct. As a direct result of the preferential and proper efforts of Meese and his staff, the Army awarded $32 million engine billing and contract to West Tech in 1982 while Meese was counseled to President Reagan and said the ethics report on Meese. Meese also violated ethics requirements to the report said by failing to report on stock sale on his 1985 federal tax return and by participating in the Justice Department decision favoring the regional bell telephone companies in which he held $14,000 in stock at a time. If Meese was still Attorney General, he would be recommended in the next ranking department official that is the President taking disciplinary action, the report concluded. Our department statement said no further action against Meese is warranted because he is no longer a government employee. Independent counsel James McKay decided that last summer not to prosecute Meese, although McKay concluded Meese had improperly violated conflict of interest laws. In Miami, 5 people, including a policeman, were shot as looting and vandalism spread Tuesday after a banana ran in and sparked by the fatal shooting of an unarmed black motorist by a white policeman. Schools were closed. A close professional basketball game was canceled, and police cordoned off a 130 block area of the predominantly black Overtown neighborhood after nightfall. Authorities told that law-abiding citizens remained indoors and began a block-to-block sweep. For the sake of our city, I appeal to every citizen, regardless of the race, to stay calm, get off streets, and stay in your homes, said Miami Mayor Xavier Suarez in a televised appeal last night. We arrested the people and we are being a lot more aggressive in the enforcement of the law than I think we have to be. I don't think what will be continued after today. Authorities said Overtown, just north of downtown, was well quiet after police entered within 2 hours. About 45 people have been arrested, mostly of looting, but the land funds already had spread to Liberty City, a separate black
Now, 3 Americans.
community several miles in the northwest where looting and gunfire continued Tuesday night. Official Eric Butler was wearing a bulletproof vest, was shot in the vest about 9:30 p.m. by a sniper, was later arrested on the top of the 3-story building. Butler was not seriously injured. Plans were made up to 500 National Guard troops to be mobilized within 2 hours if the violence continued, said Brian Ballard, spokesman for Governor Bob Martinez. Top police officials said the tough stance would not bring a violent reaction because only a few people were violating the law. Trouble again erupted Tuesday afternoon when a white man in a luxury car reported firing to a crowd of blacks in the area, wounding 1 person before driving away. I didn't know that 1 person was hit to the side, said police spokesman Angela Bittis said. And in that unified victim was hospitalized in fair conditions. Prior gunfire continued to today, police said officers rescued 1 student victim under fire and returned and fired another man injured in the leg. About 25 used shuttered car windows outside the Miami Arena on the border of Overtown, where the NBA's Miami Heat was scheduled to play the Phoenix Suns Tuesday night. The game was canceled. A meat truck was looted and 1 white motorist was beaten after his car broke down in Overtown. The car of the Associated Press photographer Mark Pesci was burned and he was arrested by a mob, but not seriously hurt when he attempted to take pictures of the crowd that had been. Kevin News cited a Tuesday shooting. Police fired tear gas at the crowd and in turn were pelted by rocks and bottles. Then they sealed off at several block areas and shot Schoolyard for a minute. I say someone coming in around and building in front of Rock 9 said, let's go out of here. Pesky said at least 1 car was burned in Liberty City.
We could be in for a deep freeze. Mike Wellcome will be along in just a few moments to tell us more about that.
Bucks County Judge Michael J. Kane found Michael W. Swift guilty of first-degree murder Tuesday and will sentence him to life in prison, fatally shooting the bystander during a struggle with 2 state police troopers. In returning its guilt, the verdict, Kane apparently accepted the prosecution's garbage that Swift stood and fired a gun that had killed, taken from a state trooper with intent to kill either a trooper or the bystander, Urgency Beast Jr. 3 of Quakertown. Kane ruled that a lack of aggravated circumstances spared Swift from the death penalty, which had Prosecutor been sought. We will never know whoever Michael Swift intended to kill Mr. Beast or whether he intended to kill Trooper Jacqueline Butler, but
While two gunmen
he raised that weapon to kill someone and effected escape. Argued died, gives senior deputy district attorney. Swift 24, of which one time was stopped by Butler Trooper Tedro Horace. Judy Bova, the double barracks around 9:50 p.m. on August 5th in the parking lot of the Quakertown Farmers Market on Stanton Road in Richland Township. They were attempting to apprehend Swift on Bridgewater on assault charges when a scuffle break-in and Swift removed her gun from its holster according to testimony. Kate deliberated about an hour before returning to death as verdict guilty of first-degree murder. Prompted subs from Miss Widow and his mother as well as from Swift's girlfriend. He returned a short time later in after hearing brief arguments ruled that the prosecutor failed to show the outweighed circumstances to justify the death penalty. Swift showed a little emotion after Kate said he would impose a life sentence and several sheriff deputies surrounded him there, escorted him to Bucks County Prison.
At the end of the year, the Taliban say
Given in addition to the life sentence, Swift faced a mandatory murder of 5 years in prison for committing a felony to firearm. Kate also found Swift guilty of attempted murder, Butler versus assault charges, resisted arrest, and received stolen property, possession of a treatment of crime, and created firearm without a license. Bucks County should establish a uniform salary scale for county employees that should consider a setup of a merit pay system to reward exceptional performance according to the Society of Workers' salaries. The $40,000 study done by Pest Management Company of Philadelphia was ordered by the Republican-controlled Bucks County Commissioners last year and was released Tuesday. We have to get some uniforms.
Below, near the ground.
Bucks County Commissioner Chairman Andrew L. Warren, now we are down on paper what may be an orderly system after years of people doing similar work and getting dismissal pay. Dismissed similar. The study was so to determine whether a client, for example, one county department was being paid at the same level as a clerk doing the same job as in another department. The commissioners who received the final report this week said they would take no immediate action. That was because of the county finance officials still must look at each individual job and see if the job description submitted in that.
Just a few miles, and it just paid.
Warden's bars voted about $100,000 seizing cash and assets from drug dealers. The board unanimously agreed to seek support from municipality to the upcoming Bucks County Convention. That idea does. Will's $1 million increase in that. The state narcotics forfeiture law provided that drug-related cash and assets, including cars, houses, and electronic equipment of items, may funnel to the county district attorney's office since April 1986. $700,000 forfeit cash from the sale of assets.
This morning, look at that first. Those dark blue colors. That was when the heaviest snow was falling.
The U.S. Supreme Court let stand the Barbie conspiracy conviction of former Montgomery County and State Republican Party Chairman Robert B. Asher and supervisors allow final plans of Tuesday 3 homes be built on 2 developments. Okay, AccuWeather now. Here's Dave Roberts. Good evening, everybody. Hello, Jim. Now, our current conditions at 6 p.m. reports around the Delaware Valley. It's 48 in Philadelphia and Wilmington, Delaware. 49 in Northeast. 49 in Trenton, New Jersey. 46 out in Newark, New Jersey, 45 out in LaGuardia in New York City, 44 in JFK, 50 in Jackson, New Jersey, 44 in Atlantic City, 45 in Dover, Delaware, 45 in Allentown, Bethlehem, 49 in Reading, 50 in Lebanon, 51 in Harrisburg, 50 out in Lancaster, and 47 in Baltimore, and 50 in Washington, D.C. Okay, let's take a look at our
22. Worcester will drop to 24.
weather around the nation today shows warm conditions from Florida stretching out in New York State.
Last time, but heavy, wet stuff.
And it's flurries up in upstate New York and up in northern Vermont. North of the front with cold conditions in northern New England and upstate New York. Here,
Driveway tomorrow.
cool up for much
Icy out there, so be careful about that.
portions of the northern plains states and down in the Midwest. Here, cloudy skies in southern Texas and in the Pacific Northwest, and sunny skies out in
Just barely above
the southwest. Cold front from Idaho down from Montana. Low pressure centered in Saskatchewan. Another batch of high pressure in western Texas and Oklahoma. And low pressure centered in western New York. Here. Okay, let's take a look at our 7-day forecast for tonight. Podcast got low in the mid-20s. Thursday, Sunny skies has around 40 degrees. Sunrise Thursday around 7:19 a.m. And Poconos tonight, podcast got low in the low 20s. Thursday, podcast got has in the low to mid-30s. For Jersey Shore tonight, podcast got low in 30 degrees. Thursday, Sunny skies has in the low to mid-40s.
Will drop off 22 to 28 degrees.
Tuesday's air quality for the northern and Delaware Valley range from good to moderate. The worst polluted was suspended particles, which increase in amount and harm of the respiratory diseases. Today's air quality will remain in the good to moderate range.
Until 2 in the afternoon.
That's me, where I'm Dave Roberts, and here now, sports action, and now here now is Don Tollefson. Take it away, Don. All right, thank you, Dave. After a disappointing 127-122 loss in overtime to the expansion Charlotte Hornets Monday afternoon at the Spectrum, the 76ers were due for some good news, and they received some from the X-Rays of star forward Charles Barkley's back. The X-Rays were taken Tuesday afternoon at the Temple University Sports Medicine Center. Team physician Dr. Ray Moore found that what he believes his associates believe was a back injury Barkley originally suffered during his 3-year collegiate career at Auburn University, but it doesn't appear to be a herniated disc, which Barkley feared it might be. Barkley's back should be allowed to play.
Start to see things warming up.
The 6'4.5", 255-pounder playing tonight's game at the Spectrum against the Boston Celtics at 7:30 p.m. tonight. The bottom line is there does not appear to be a serious injury at this time, said General Manager John Nash. Assuming Charles feels well enough to play at the game time, he will be cleared by the doctors. Likely to be played tonight is pretty good. It's going to be a left after Charles Barkley. Barkley, who has been bothered with a nagging back problem for a week, sat at the third quarter of the Monday's loss, what would lead to be back spasms.
In the playoffs. Now, back to Brady and Manning.
In Miami, Icky Woods is learning about the flip side of stardom. The Cincinnati Bengals wiki running back is one of the most sought after players in Miami for the Super Bowl fans. Want to see him shuffle, reporters want to hear his life story. I guess I'm famous and everybody wants a piece of me, and I guess I'm costing my privacy. He said one of his many news conferences this week. Right now, everybody wants a piece of Icky Woods. The 22-year-old Californian never expected such attention when the Bengals drafted him in the second round out of Nevada, Las Vegas. He never thought a little touchdown that would start a whole city shoveling. He never figured that it'd make a national car commercial with his number.
This season, more points than any team in history.
And he never thought he would be in the cover of a national sports magazine for leading the Bengals to the Super Bowl. It feels good, it really does, to come from virtually nowhere to the cover of Sports Illustrated, he said. He didn't exactly come from nowhere, but close enough. Woods grew up in the projects of Fresno, California, with his brother Rodney and his mother Sylvia. A single parent, the streets around his building were dangerous. Several of his friends were killed in gang violence. He learned at his early age about the nearness of death. You can go at any time, so you really have to live life to the fullest, because you never know what is your turn to go, he said. When his mother told him to steer clear of gang troubles and to dream big, Woods' dreams started coming true as a college senior when he led the nation rushing. His image began to develop in the season, and he grew up ponytail, and after having success in it, held became superstitious about cutting it. Bengals were a little concerned about his image at first.
A huge game like this.
Meanwhile, over in the 49ers, you did see yourself, you never would believe it happened. Joe Montana, the 5-time Pro Bowl quarterback, future Hall of Famer, 4-time All-Pro, was benched in the prime of his career after leading the 49ers with 2 Super Bowls and 6 playoff appearances. After completing 68% of his pass attempts at the first half of the year, Joe Montana was benched. You sat there and said, God, why is this all happening? Montana said Tuesday. But I've been lucky that I haven't been before this point. I took the approach that it's only get better from here. And it didn't get better, much better than it was first. It got pretty bad. Montana 32 was in the bench in favor of Steve Young 8 games into the 1988 season of the 49ers. After winning 4 of the first 5 games, split their next 4, and Montana, with 362 career touchdowns in 128 games, managed just 1 touchdown pass during that stretch. So head coach Bill Walsh claimed that Montana was fatigued and suffered from a chronic back injury, but he put Young in the lineup to leave Montana limbo. You get upset, then you have to sit back and realize he had to make a judgment. Montana said in an interview at a Joe Robbie Stadium. And that's what he got on 15. I might not be what I believe, but you have to respect him for doing.
Well, Mike Lynch is on his way to Denver now.
What he
will have a report for us tonight.
does he has to make those judgments, and that's the way it is. The 49ers split 2 games under Young. Formerly started with Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Montana charged back 4 and 7 touchdowns, just 3 interceptions in the last 6 regular season games. 4 of them wins and tossing 3 TDs apiece in the playoff threats with the Vikings and Bears. In 5 days, Montana leads the 49ers against the Bengals in Super Bowl 23. Make no mistake about it. Joe Montana's back, and make no mistake about it. The 49ers team that shows up at Joe Robbie Stadium on Sunday is a different team than the one that was suddenly booted at Kansas Park during a 9-3 loss to the Raiders in November. The big thing was that defensively we weren't keeping up in defense. Montana said our defense was playing well, but we're making turnovers and interceptions, fumbles, and going for a period of a lot of penalties, killing a lot of drives. Chris Quadnick tosses around opponents as a real amount of you were just going to trash most of them at least. Time when North Penn visits Ben Slim at Suburban One League National Conference match, Quadnick was cutting 151 in his high school career hasn't. Lost since his freshman season is going to get a rare test. Provided, of course, things will work out. The North Penn team will weigh in above Wednesday when 189 pounds, and it should North Penn be in control of the match when it's time comes. Quadnick wrestle at 189 pounds against Ben Slim undefeated Tyrone Howard. Both wrestlers coming in at about a 12-0 are considered the top 189 pounders in District 1. And should North Penn coach Ed Clayton bump Quadnick down at 171 for the good of the team, the wrestler said it would be disappointing. He's supposed to be really good at that one and a 2-time state champ, so I think I'll have to get up a little more to this match. I'm sure it does help you get a little when you wrestle someone like Howard, but a little bit I try to get up the same every match. I'm sure they'll be disappointed if I get to wrestle him, and I don't get to wrestle him last year, so I hope I get to wrestle him. That's a 4-1 overall, 2-1 in SOL, Lonely in division, and 1. Calvin certainly likes to wrestle today in individual matches as much as possible. He said the team comes first. We'll have to see how much his match is going. Calvin said we don't want to jeopardize the team victory, so we'll play it match by match. The team is always more important than one person. We are fortunate to have Chris, but with the matchup meant losing of matches.
Current GM owners.
I don't think we do it. We might be forfeiting a match even before we get in that Chris's match is why to put Chris in that position. We put someone else in there. Can we keep them off his back? We'll play it in match by match. Quentin will go down once sometime before the season begins, but a match against Howard would certainly be a good measuring stick. So far this year, his toughest match should come in the finals of the Manheim tournament over Christmas when he defeated Erie Cap Feeder Preps Jeff Liddell 12-9 in overtime after regulation, tied at 8-8. I think it helps me more than anything. It's like Gordon Wesson as every guy. I get more of a workout. It's giving him some combination that doesn't get in the practice at Cleveland. May be as fast as he would like, but he certainly working to get the size of reach, things like that. There's a little bit of push of it. I think we found it true. And man, I'm turning years old. Guy covered it off from 205. Chris was 174 against him. I think Chris was spotted at 50 pounds. Amy goes against Howard, will give it away, but his weight again, pretty light as much weight. Said Quentin when asked where his weight was, I think a lot of people will be there just for the one match. Betslip coach Jack Dunn said. And that's where it introduced the 6 p.m. dish out this Wednesday, July 18th, I'm Jim Gardner alongside Tollefson and Dave Roberts, and we'll be back by the afternoon 11 p.m. War. To come next will be Dave C. World News tonight. We're Peter Jennings. We'll see you at 11. Have a good evening.